Hello and salutations, my fellow adventurers. Welcome back to another episode of Living the Grand Adventure. Well guys, I made it the hour trek down this direction, down south of Dayton, on my first solo adventure by myself, guys. Heading out backpacking 2 nights here in the Twin Valley Metropark. I'm going to hike in right now. It's going to be about a 3.5 mile hike in, down to Pine Ridge. I think we're staying at Site B. And then from there tomorrow, we've got about a 7.5 mile hike north up to Cedar Ridge. That's the campsite on the divider trail between the two metro parks down here in Dayton. So it's the itinerary for this weekend. It's really sunny, about 82 degrees. Heading into the park now. A little field walking to start with right here. It's kind of nice. A little different than what we're used to. Finally got a little bit of sun here in western Ohio. It's been very rainy lately. Actually, for the last week or so, we've actually been under a flood watch. So we've seen quite a bit of rain, a lot of thunderstorms. They're actually expecting a little bit of that this weekend, but I'm not too worried. Got all my good equipment with me. Gonna try out some new stuff. Actually got a new Black Diamond headset we're gonna take a look at. Yeah, headlamp. See what we think about that. I actually got a little rebate on it. Actually only spent about $25 on it. It's actually a $60 headset, so that's kind of nice. And yeah, right now we're following this orange trail, heading into the woods. I hope. Looks like it. First solo trip ever. It's gonna be interesting. Of course, I will have cell signal most of the time, I'm sure. I've already let the family know that I'm on trail, so they're kind of excited. And Jenny just decided to stay home and rest. Kind of feeling under the weather a little bit. And she just figured it'd be kind of neat for me to get out and actually get my first solo trip under my belt. You know, going forward, there will be quite a few more of these, I'm sure. All right, looks like we're heading into a little bit of cover here. All right, so once we see something interesting on the trail, I'll get back with you guys and we'll take a look and see what we see. Well guys, we're about half a mile in. Give you an indication of the trail conditions so far. It's not bad at all. I was fully expecting a lot worse trail conditions, to be honest. It's actually another trail goes out that way. We're going orange this way though. They do have little seats along the way that you can sit at. But trail conditions are actually fairly decent considering the weather we've had the last week. We are technically still under an aerial flood warning right now because some of the levels of the rivers in the area are still above flood stage. So for the ground not to be extremely wet, I'm quite happy. Not another Wildcat Hollow weekend, that's for sure. I'd have done it, but I was hoping for not that. So it is kind of warm, like I said, low 80s. But what's kind of getting me right now is actually it's very humid, very moist in the air because of all the water we've had, the saturation. But as I was saying, I did work today, and on my phone it does register my steps and things like that. And it seems to be fairly accurate, the Galaxy Note 9. So before even getting on trail today, I'm actually already over 5 miles today. I did a little bit extra work between yesterday and today so I could try to get out a little bit earlier and make plans for next week, because I basically manage my own section of where I work. You know, I do all the work for it, all the inventory, things like that. And in doing so, I basically planned a little bit extra next week, because next week, you know, that's leading into Red River Gorge as well. So I wanted to make sure that I had enough stuff done that, one, like I said, I could get out early today, and two, going forward, I'd have an easy week next week getting ready for Red River Gorge. And now I've gotten in here, I got about a half a mile, 3/4 mile under my legs. Already feeling the trail legs, they're starting to come back already. The more you do this, the more you notice that it's easier to get back into it. And we are officially into the forest now. It's awesome. Of course, the trail is muddier through here because it hasn't had as much daylight today. So I'm going to go ahead and shut this down. That way we can navigate this real good and get through this and get on over to our site. So I come up the first major elevation gain I've seen. And if you can't tell, looks like the trail's been washed out a little bit. So we've got had quite a bit of rain. Definitely very overgrown forest now. Very much into summer. In fact, today is the first day of summer. So yeah, them temperatures are pretty warm. It's very muggy. Whew. Yeah, but I'm having fun. It's nice being out here in the forest. Very, very pretty. Very, very green now. A lot different than last few we've done up until probably Wildcat even. Okay guys, I was coming along. I had just turned off the GoPro. I'm on my phone now. And I got startled by a deer. It actually ran about 100 feet over here. It's up a hill. I'm gonna see if I can get it on video a little bit for you guys. I don't know, it may scamper off, but I do have a sight of it right now. Yeah, I think it hears, I believe there's another group coming in behind me. I think it's hearing them. Yeah, it's slowly moving off now. I wish I'd have been recording on that GoPro because I could have got it really good. Unfortunately, I don't hear any others. There may be some more around. We'll see if we can get some video of those if they happen to be around. Well, I've come into another kind of meadow walking. I mean, it's overgrowth on both sides, but the trail runs between it. And of course, we have clear skies above us. It's about a mile or so in, maybe a little over. Making pretty good time though. Did have a pretty interesting incline. It wouldn't have been so bad, but the trail's kind of washed out. There's a lot of roots to climb up. Other than that, the trail's been pretty decent so far. A little muddy in spots, but nothing serious. And like I said, with the rain we've had, it's expected. But yeah, this is pretty easy walking right through here. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. I'm not seeing any other wildlife. Like I said, I saw the one little frog and then the deer. And other than that, I haven't really seen much. I did hear, like over in the underbrush, a few things rustling, probably squirrels or chipmunks or something. Nothing large. But it was interesting seeing that deer, because that is the first time I've seen a deer on trail, you know, generally anywhere except the very first trip I took at Mohican, and those were still way up on a ridge. This one, you know, this one literally 25 feet in front of me, right in front of me. So that was cool. I like seeing that. Took me coming to a Metropark to see wildlife. Sure, I'll see more stuff going forward, but yeah, still open up here. Still firing orange blazes. Always with the orange blazes. Seems like every trail I go on, they use orange blazes. Oh, that's kind of neat. Oh, there's a lake down there. It's kind of cool. I don't know, maybe we'll walk past it. We'll see. yeah, just like how I'd hoped, we actually did come down here, and we're gonna walk past it. If you notice, right out here is where I came down, this little incline here. There is a perimeter trail, it looks like it goes all the way around it. And I did notice it comes out over here. If you'll walk over here, I'll show you. Yeah, see right here, looks like it's the perimeter. It does say you can fish here, catch and release only though. They probably stock it, so you know, once a year. A lot of places around here do that. You can probably look that up on the Metropark website. But yeah, this is kind of neat right here on the trail. And looks like we're actually going to be heading back this direction up in here, going out that direction to where the trail leads. We came from up there, right up there, and come down. So, and you know, if you're on the trail and decide you want lunch, there's a bench right here, nice little view. And of course, like I said, it does say catch and release fishing, so that's kind of neat. All right, so I've come across my first water crossing here. Doesn't look too bad. It's probably not normally this deep. That creek we just we're walking along now, I've got to cross it. Trail continues over there. So to give you a sense of how close a metro park can be to civilization, I mean, for instance, if you hear in the background, I don't know if you can notice it because I am using the lapel mic, but there actually is a lawnmower going right over here. Someone's cutting the grass. Right there, if you see the barbed wire, that actually is private property. This is actually the sanctuary bounds. There's signs right back there saying do not cross this, you know, this right here, this boundary. So I mean, yeah, we're right smack dab in the middle of it all. But, you know, this is just basically a conditioning trip for me, getting ready for next weekend. I'm basically carrying almost the exact same pack I'm carrying next weekend. There's a couple of things I may shed, but so far it's been pretty decent. I did hit a stretch back that way a little ways. That was about 2/10 of a mile of mud walking. I mean, just like Wildcat. And you know, I don't figure this trail would be like that except for all the rain that we've had. And I am noticing my pack's starting to weigh on me a little bit. I think that's where I worked today. If I had not worked, I'd be not having any problems with this. But I'm ready to get the site and get this thing off so I can sit down and relax a little bit tonight. You know, get up early tomorrow and pound out those 7 miles, which, you know, like I said, after a good night's sleep, I should be ready to go. It's just where I work today. I'm not feeling it too much right this minute. I actually meant to take an naproxen before I left, or an ibuprofen, something like that, because I was already feeling a little dull ache in my back just from working. Like I said, I did some extra stuff today that I probably shouldn't have, but that's okay. So right now, this is what the trail looks like. It's been this way for about, I don't know, probably 2/10 of a mile now. We had 2/10 of a mile of mud walking and now 2/10 of a mile of this. So that's been kind of nice, pounding out some mileage and getting some time back in. That mud walking definitely slows you down. This hasn't been too bad right through here. It's a little rocky, but I can live with that. Yes, this little section right through here is kind of rough. If it was raining, I'd say this would just be all basically like almost like a stream coming down through here. In fact, if you can't notice, there is a little bit of trickle water. So basically, that's pretty much a creek bed that the trail comes down. That was a little treacherous because the rocks were real loose, I guess, where, you know, it has rained so much. Sure, if it was drier, it wouldn't be quite so bad, but that's a little rough. All right, so I'm on the last leg here. The orange trail has met up with the purple and green trails both now. Fill up on water. I believe it's called the Hopewell Trailhead. And once we get that water, we'll circle back around and come back to the site and be home for the night. And just as I pull the camera out, more mud walking. It hasn't really been that bad. It's just after the last trip a couple weeks ago at Wildcat, I really didn't want to be doing this too much today. But, you know, when you've seen the rains that Western Ohio has, it's just something that you've got to deal with if you want to get out in this area. So I was walking along, easy trail back through here. I wasn't really paying attention, and then I just kind of stopped and looked over. Almost missed the meadow. Just concentrating on the trail, concentrating on getting where I need to be. Didn't stop to look at what was around me. So I'm saying, guys, you gotta do that occasionally. I mean, out in the open here, and that's all wooded, and I'm sure heading back into the woods shortly. This was kind of a neat little surprise. Like I said, I got halfway up this trail right here before I even just looked over. I was thinking, oh yeah, I'm getting some good mileage here. I'm pounding out some steps, getting through it. It's hot, it's muggy. I can feel I need some electrolytes or something, because I've really pushed the speed of the mileage here. So I probably sweated out quite a bit of electrolytes. But I can feel it. And like I said, that's what I was just thinking. Yeah, let's just get over here, get some electrolytes in me, start feeling better, get sight set up. Almost missed the meadow. Would have been a shame too, but that's really pretty. All flat and kind of, well, a little rolly, a little hilly right through there. And like I said, I mean, if I hadn't paid attention, literally 200, 300 more feet, I'd have been back into the woods and completely missed it. So guys, make sure you, during your grand adventure, stop and look at the meadow occasionally. You know, concentrating on things, you may miss something very beautiful. All right, guys. So I'm on the last little leg here. Stopped off and filled up on water. Got about 3 liters for the night. Did go ahead and down me a liter of electrolytes as well. Like I said, I felt like I was getting a little low on those. It's just where it's so muggy and hot right now. It's not even really that hot, it's just good and muggy. So it looks like we're going to come up here, and looks like we're actually crossing the road, but should be to sight very soon. It's about, according to the map, about 1/10 of a mile or so at the most. So looking forward to that. Little road crossing here. All right, and then we'll get in here. I have to figure out exactly which site I signed up for. I believe Pine Ridge was B. I could be wrong, it might be C. But we'll figure that out here in just a moment. If you couldn't tell, it got a little crowded over where the water was. That's why I didn't actually record much there. Oh, tight squeeze with the pack. All right, made it through. And now we're back into the forest a little bit. And once again, this right here is actually private property, guys. I did look it up. I was correct. I am staying in Site B tonight at the Pine Ridge campsite area. And it's very muddy getting back into here, which I kind of figured. It's been pretty muddy ever since we kind of left that road back there, which hasn't even been 1/10 of a mile. By my estimate, we're probably gonna be about like 0.07 off of our main road. I can even hear people talking in their backyard over here, so definitely not too far off the beaten path here, guys. Just very muddy. Looks like there's some ATV usage. I know they're not supposed to do that in this park, but I'm sure, you know, local people around here just, you know, they sneak through, and the rangers probably occasionally catch them and sight them. Personally, I think, you know, if you're in an area like this, you know, they should come in and develop ATV areas, because, you know, that's definitely a fun pastime for certain people. I've ridden them in the past, just haven't had the pleasure of actually owning one myself. Never really had the land to do it, so I definitely would not look down on somebody for riding an ATV. Just don't run me over on the trail, guys. All right, I got a sign coming up here. I'm hoping, yes, it looks like here's a privy. So So looks like we're coming into the sites. Excellent. I definitely feel a lot better after getting those electrolytes in me. It's I believe it's something I'm definitely gonna have to make sure I maintain. Yeah, I saw some pictures of this particular privy here online, and yeah, here's the entrance to the sites we're looking at. All right, so this is the common area. It's very similar to the one we were at before that I was at. Not quite as nice though. So far I do prefer the other one. Supposedly Cedar Ridge is the nicest one, and that's where we're going to be staying tomorrow. That is like a 7-mile trek tomorrow though. But that's okay. Like I said, we're in here conditioning, getting ready for that trip next week, and taking a look at this trail so far. Oh my goodness. It's kind of overgrown. Let's see. I believe this would be Site A. We'll take a look at this since we're here and no one's in it yet. I know all these sites are reserved. Yeah, this one's kind of tiny. You could probably get a hammock in here if you had to, between that tree and this one, even though that one's a little small to try to be hanging a hammock on, but I think you could make do. That one looks like it's more tent conducive. Now supposedly B, it's supposed to be a lot more conducive to tents, or excuse me, to hammocks. So cross your fingers. This could be interesting if it's not. So yeah, when Lexi and I were in here, something moving in the brush. Anyway, when Lexi and I were here back in April, it wasn't as overgrown, and I think some of those trees that we actually did hang from would probably be overgrown now. So we got kind of lucky there. So I'm hoping I've got a little something that I can work with at this over here at Site B. We'll take a look though. I'll make do. I'll figure something out. I've already hiked in the probably about 3.4 miles by the time it's all said and done. Another big patch of mud. Let's hope to avoid this. Note for tomorrow. May try the other direction because I think it's just one little loop here. Ooh, whoosh. Alrighty. So we're through that. Spider web. And what's this? Is this Site B? Alright, Site B. Home for the night, guys. Yeah, I've got a little dinky tree, a big tree. I can make do with it. Looks like people have been chopping on it, but it'll hold, I would assume. We'll try it. Worst case scenario, I'll figure something else out. I can make do. We'll figure something out. I was hoping for a stump to sit on, because I did not bring, I've got this little log over here, but I did not bring my chair. Now I regret that decision. Oh well, we'll make do. But guys, we are home for the night. And at least at this moment in time, I definitely prefer the Oak Ridge campsite. It was a lot nicer than this one. This one's a lot smaller too, because the other one, if you remember, was a lot bigger, a lot more spacious. All three of the sites were like that. I think even overgrown they would be bigger, but we will make do here. We'll figure it out. Anyway, I'm gonna get the pack off, let family know I'm here at the site, and start getting set up. We'll see what we can make do with here, guys. Hey guys, so I'm setting up for dinner here. Tacos on the trail again. Happens to be my favorite. Got chili for tomorrow, so that's cool. Boil up some water, get some stuff rehydrated here. Kind of hungry. It's about 8 o'clock. I've been setting up, talked to my wife for a few minutes, just normal camp stuff. But now it's time for dinner. And kind of hungry. Haven't ate since probably about 1 o'clock, something like that. So, a little calorie deprived here. Go ahead and boil up. I'm gonna try about 10 ounces of water. I'm hoping that'll be enough. Oh no, let's go 16. But that way I don't have to stop to reheat. It's probably more than enough. And that still leaves me, plenty of water there. Of course, my bladder's still full, so I've got plenty of water to rehydrate later tonight. Actually, let's do the 10. I don't think I'll take more than that. Love this GSR boiler. It has the markings on the inside and outside. That's really convenient when you're on the trail. And that shouldn't take long to boil, especially where it's warmer out. So I'm going to go ahead and get my taco meat set up. That's what I brought. Dehydrated myself over the last couple of days. It's really good. I feel it's going to get dark kind of quick here. Good thing is I've been up since about 6:30, so it's not going to take me long to get to sleep in the morning, maybe this evening. Bring some pepper jack cheese. I'll drop about half of that in this and save the other half of my chili tomorrow. Of course, fire packs from Taco Bell. Reutilize everything, guys. Got my cook pouch. Same one I made over almost a year ago now. Made it just before we headed out for our vacation last year. Like I said, that's Reflectix. It's a sunscreen for a car. A little bit of duct tape, some Velcro stickies. It works great for me. I've used it just about every temperature you can think of. The titanium fork I got works really well. I like this little notch right there. It's a bottle opener, but it's really hot. You can lift over. Plus, this worked great with the Stanley system that we have. If we use it over a fire, of course, you can lift the lid off. Definitely makes multiple uses, which is I like that in a lot of things. When you have multiple uses for stuff. I already got a boil, 10 ounces of water, and I don't even think I had that jet boil full blast, so it's kind of neat. Definitely like this right here. This is something else Jenny kind of convinced me to get. She said if I didn't get it when I got it, she was going to buy it for me. So I went ahead and picked it up. And yeah, definitely hope I didn't get that too soupy. Shouldn't. Actually, with it being meat, it takes a minute for it to kind of rehydrate where it's not pasta. So I'll get this down in the cook pouch. And it should start rehydrating pretty quick. I do have tea and a few things like that, but I'm not doing that today because it's hot. And I really don't want the extra caffeine. I'd like to be able to go to bed and rest tonight. If I drank too much caffeine, of course, I'd probably stay up. Plus, it would help to kind of dehydrate me a little bit, so not really wanting to do that. Let that water cool off, and I'm just going to put it back in here. I have something to sip on later tonight. Actually, I need to hang on to this for breakfast in the morning because I'm doing oatmeal. Won't take a lot. It'll be a very quick boil, but yeah, I don't know if you can hear in the background, lots of cars, lots of traffic. I mean, the road is literally less than a tenth of a mile that direction. I did walk on down this direction where we come in from over here, and Site A was over here, and the previous over here. I just kind of wanted to glance at Site C. It's basically the same thing as this. Not much in the way of trees where you can hang hammocks. I mean, I do have a setup, which I'm about to show you here in just a second. We'll take a look at that. But, I mean, it's not the greatest I've ever had to set up. I did actually kind of set up for weather too, because they are talking about possible thunderstorms later tonight, so I just wanted to be prepared. If it comes into rain, I'm not going to get wet, I wouldn't think, unless it's a severe rainstorm. So, should be in pretty good shape for the night. Guys, this is my little setup. Got it really kind of low towards the hammock, as far as the rain fly goes. Want to make sure I stay dry if it does rain. Now, I know that does look kind of low to the ground as far as the hammock goes, but that's mainly the rain fly. I sit down in the hammock, it doesn't go anywhere near the ground, so it'll be comfortable. And I do have 3 points basically anchored down very low to the ground. And I did stand this up, that way I can see the site throughout the night. And of course, if it does rain, all I gotta do is come in here, hit these off, and drop it down really quick. Well guys, for the first time in a very long time, I hiked in, got set up, had dinner, have everything stowed away where I need it for the night, and it's not completely dark yet. I know the Samsung Galaxy Note 9 that I'm using right now shows it a little bit lighter. That's, what it does. But yeah, I mean, what time is it? Probably a little, yeah, it's 9:05, so yeah, we still got probably good 20-25 minutes of, I mean, the sun's probably gone down, but 20-25 minutes of daylight still left. Woods are generally quiet. I mean, all I'm hearing is other people's dogs barking, things like that. I mean, there are some birds chirping and everything. Somebody out this direction has a large stereo. Just, I can almost tell what it is. A very large stereo just blaring. Oh, yeah, new headset, guys. It's a Black Diamond. Really, really kind of excited to try this out. Looks kind of neat. That's the bright setting. Pretty bright. Lights it up. It's supposed to have a red. Oh, there's a blue. Awesome. There's the red and a green. And it actually has different luminosity settings. If you notice, like way down. So it's pretty cool. I'm actually stoked to have that, because it's going to make trail reading at night, like different lines on your map will be exposed. Like the green light would make a different, like I believe brown would probably pop better with a green light versus red. That way if I'm night hiking at any point in time and need to look at the trail, I've got the different settings other than having to use the bright white. Got a little sprinkle right now. It's nothing major. I checked it, not calling for a lot of rain. I mean, it's like 50% here and there, like possible thunderstorms might blow up tomorrow. Possible shower early in the morning here. Yeah, it's about to get dark here. I think I'm gonna probably just relax, massage my feet some. I'm gonna hop in the hammock here in a minute and just kind of stretch out and relax a little while. Do normal things. Probably, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised asleep in bed in the next couple hours. I don't know if you can hear. I mean, that was a truck or a motorcycle. People there with that, I would assume it was a truck or a car. It sounded more like a truck because it was kind of deeper engine sounding, so of course it echoes really bad up in here because I'm actually a little bit lower than they are. But people were yelling out the back of that, so yeah, if that goes on all night, I don't know how well I'll rest because I'm used to pretty quiet, like maybe the sound of an air conditioner running, so this could be interesting. But yeah, so far a pretty good trip. I wasn't expecting the trail to be quite as hard after being on the other one. The Germantown loop up north, it was nowhere near as hard as this. Of course, I mean, part of it could be like I was telling my wife, it could be that the rain has come in and washed part of the trail out, made it a little bit rockier, a little bit harder. But even then, I had a blast on the German trail, the Germantown trail. This one, it's a little bit, it's not as scenic either. I mean, I haven't seen any like like we had the huge creek that we followed, or had the couple of places where you could look out over the valley. So unless I get something like that going up the west side, I would definitely recommend doing the other trail versus this one so far. But we'll see what I think as of tomorrow once I get the site, because tomorrow I will have completed pretty much this entire loop. Besides, I think there'll be a mile at the very top that I'll do Sunday. So I will have completed this one as well. I prefer the other one. The other one's really nice. I really actually enjoyed that one. We had a blast on that trail. Kind of missing the family though. Being the first solo backpacking trip I've ever done. Not having the family with me, having the chance to talk and say, oh hey, look at that, or just laugh and giggle and stuff that we do all together. It's a little bit of a downer. I do miss them. I like hiking with them. Each one of them have their own little thing that they do on the trail that just endears that particular trail to me. And of course I love hiking with Jenny, my wife, so you guys know. And being out here by myself, I mean it's something I'm gonna have to do if I want to do some of these trails, because the kids are growing up. I already got 2 of them moved out. One's 18, one's 19. They took off. And the 18-year-old may hike with me again. Of course, my 19-year-old daughter, I mean, she went out with us last summer. She's pretty much made it known that she'll car camp, but she won't do this. So, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with that, but it's something I won't miss, because my very first backpacking trip, she was with me. So, missing the guys does suck, but I hear a flute. What the hell, man? Anyway, missing the guys does suck, but doing some of these longer trails, and especially as the kids get older and they start doing their own thing, I'm probably going to do this a lot more often by myself, and that's fine. We'll see how things go. Yeah, you can definitely tell that the sun is starting to dip, because the sky's actually getting lighter, but that'll go pretty quick. So, but I guess I'm gonna get off here. If anything crazy happens throughout the night or whatever, I'll let you know. Probably do, like I said, do a little bit of research, and I'll let you guys know what I kind of figured out with the trails and what I've hiked today and what we're looking at for tomorrow. I'll do that probably from the hammock, because I'm seriously about to just lay down and massage some muscles and try to relax a little bit. I'm probably going to call home again and tell them all good night. Well, hey guys, so I'm in the hammock. If you can't hear, there's a train going by in the background. It's been some crazy sounds tonight. I don't know if they're having a concert or what down this direction, with loud music. It sounds like a PA system. Some people shooting guns, sound like rifles just over the way. Lots of loud cars up and down the road over here, revving their engines and such. And it's 10 o'clock, so it's still early for a Friday night, but definitely interesting. Anyway, I did take a look at the trail, the mileage for the day. I was thinking I only did about 3.2, but I got to looking at it, probably right at 4 miles today. So doing that in roughly 2 hours and 10 minutes with trail conditions the way they were, I'm quite happy with that. That surprised me, because I didn't realize I'd hiked that much. Yeah, going to put in some mileage this weekend. That's cool. Good conditioning trip, good fun outing to try everything out. I have a good hang on my hammock tonight. It feels very comfortable. Of course, it helps I'm very tired, so like I said, it's roughly 10 o'clock and I'm already in the hammock. Not quite ready to go to sleep, but just happy to be stretched out. I've worked some kinks out of my feet. Want to lotion them up real good, either later tonight before I sleep or in the morning. But definitely happy to be laying down and just kind of relaxing now. Still going to call home and talk to them for a few more minutes before I go to sleep, which probably won't be long. But I just figured I'd let you guys know the mileage and what everything looked like, and that I'm in the hammock. No rain so far, doing pretty good. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the morning. We'll get back on that trail, guys. Well, guys, it's about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. I was fast asleep in my hammock, and I actually saw someone come into my sight with a flashlight. They were shining it around, and then they abruptly left, and now there's a lot of yelling and screaming in the woods. I believe they're trying to simulate a Bigfoot. a lot of the sounds that you see those TV shows say that they make, but it's definitely human. They're woo and yip and crazy junk. I did actually place a call to the police department just a moment ago and requested officers come out to the woods to check it out, because I feel a little threatened because there's more than one of them. Last time I will actually go anywhere without my gun. Definitely. So I just figure I'd give you guys a heads up. I'm gonna kind of let it play and see. I think they've kind of caught on that I called the law enforcement, though. I haven't heard too much in the last few minutes. They may have heard me on the phone with them. But yeah, it's got me kind of spooked a little bit. I've got the site lit up pretty decent and my headlamp on. I'm definitely not going back to sleep anytime soon. I mean, if it would have stopped initially, I could have thought it was a fox or something like that, because they do make weird sounds. We've heard that before. But it's just continued. And then what spooked me was I heard one this direction and then one out this way. And like I said, if I hadn't seen the flashlight, I may even be more spooked. But I'm pretty sure it's just a couple of kids, a couple of people out here just trying to make a prank, and they think they're funny as I took a good weekend. I paid money to come down here. This is ridiculous. See, there was another one, but it was real low. Yeah. See, there was another one, but it was real low. Yeah, I'm not sure what that is. Still sounds human though, so. Luckily, I do still have about 100% battery, so we're going to let this record for a little while. But yeah, it was just really weird. I was laying there, and there was a train going by, and that's why I was kind of awake anyway, because when it goes by, they're real loud, and they're blowing their horn, their whistle. And so I was semi-awake, and I happened to see flashlight, and I raised up real quick, and the flashlight turned towards my hammock. Then it bounced back out towards the trail, and the person went by really quick. I mean, just, and almost within 2 minutes, this started. And, like I said, I'm pretty sure it's just somebody playing a prank, but it's not funny. I mean, this is, not funny at all. I'm not generally scared in the woods of pretty much anything, but a human, I'm not too keen on. When they come sneaking past your hammock 2:30 in the morning, that's not right. That's not cool. Especially when I know for a fact there's no one at the other sites. And if somebody was at site 3 and I thought they were going to the bathroom, it wouldn't bother me so much. Of course, then the noises, which seem to have died down now. And the only weapon I have on me right now is a small pocket knife, which, I mean, that sucks. Yeah, that won't happen again. I will be carrying my firearm from now on anywhere I go. I mean, you're in a Metropark, you shouldn't feel threatened. But, yeah. Now, of course, the bad thing is, if I was carrying my firearm, if I walked past somebody in the Metropark, they'd feel threatened. That's the whole reason I left it at home, because I know how busy it can get in here with some of these people, want to do the trail running and such, and so I just kind of left it at home. And now I feel vulnerable. It's kind of gotten quiet again. This wasn't too bad of a trip until this. This kind of sucks, guys. Wish I turned the video on when they were making all that noise. Like I said, it was kind of interesting that literally it died down shortly after I called the sheriff's department. I mean, it was almost within a couple minutes. Like I said, to me, that, you know, just makes me think, you know, oh God, he called the sheriffs. Let's get out of here. Which, I mean, you know, it could have been a couple of guys on walkies turned down real low, 2 or 3 of them. I mean, who does that just for fun and kicks at 2:30 in the morning? I don't know. Like I said, it was the flashlight walking past that really got me. It's like they were looking to see if somebody was up in here, and then when they found out I was in here, that's when they started. So that's just very interesting. I have no idea why anybody would do that, but it is what it is. Guess people bored. Nothing else better to do than spook somebody for no reason. And the sad thing is, if I'd had a gun and I was a little jumpy, or a little antsy, a little trigger happy, somebody could have got hurt. And, you know, a lot of times I do carry a weapon with me. So, you know, I don't get it. And like I said, that little flashlight come floating past my hammock. I'm like, what is that? Who is that? And you could hear them walking too. I mean, they saw the hammock and they scurried past really fast. I'm like, really? Like I said, you know, I mean, if somebody was sightseeing, they really had to go to the bathroom, fine. I don't have a problem with that. But I don't know if anybody is at sightsee. If they come in after me, that's fine. If I don't sleep, I'm probably just going back to the car and going home. And I'm not going to be able to get back to sleep very easily tonight. And I've got to be out of this site by noon regardless, so make the decision, see how I feel in the morning, whether or not I'm going to go ahead and hike on up or say screw it and get out of here. I guess it really depends on how fast I get back to bed and if I can get any more sleep. There's training distance, about every half an hour getting a train. That's what I'm saying. This happened literally 30 minutes ago. Because that's what woke me up was the train initially, and then they started their yelling. You know, like I said, I'm chalking this up to probably somebody throwing a little prank, but that's just crap. I mean, the thing is, I know it took me, from the time I hit that trailhead to get into here, it's less than 15 minutes, so. And I've been on a number of these hiking expeditions now, you know, going on a year, and never felt threatened before, not once. Even at Burr Oak with the fox, I was like, that's a fox, I'm cool. And that's what I initially thought this was, and it just back and forth and louder and really, really close. Like literally they were probably in sight C standing over yelling. But I'd feel a lot better if I had my sidearm. I don't know if you can hear in the background, it's a pretty long train there. I actually shut the video down for a couple of minutes, so it's still going. Got me out here in my glasses. Oh, you done pissed me off. Hello, fellow adventurers. Kevin from the future here. So I figured out what I was going to do. I'd like to go ahead and talk to you about the events that occurred at the end of this video and give you a take on them after having a little bit of time to process what actually occurred. This actually occurred back in June. This is mid-August, so I've had a couple months to kind of think about it, do a little bit of research, and let you know what I think actually occurred. So basically, looking at it, in my personal opinion, I would like to believe it was pranksters, but I believe there were a couple of gentlemen, couple of people, whatever, in the woods that were basically trying to steal from me, bottom line. And I think the whole plot was basically you had the one guy come through with the flashlight. He kind of scoped out the site. He saw that there were that there was no other people in the other sites, A and C, me being in B by myself. He also had a chance to kind of scope out my setup, see my hammock, see the equipment that I have. I do give you in the next video, part 2, a rundown on what he did. I'm not going to go over that. You guys can watch that on the next video. But basically, they did get to see all my equipment, including, you know, my $500 GoPro setup, including the mic and such. It's definitely something that, you know, I think if somebody knew what some of the equipment was worth that I was carrying, they would have been interested in taking. Well, like I said, in the goodness of nature of people, I would like to believe they were trying to just, you know, just a couple of kids in the woods trying to prank me and have a good time and a good laugh. But I personally think the idea behind it, especially with how far pressed they were, like, honestly, seriously, the way the setup is, you have basically a horseshoe that circles around. It's a loop, and you have site A here, site C here, I'm in B, and directly back here, if you can kind of look at it from a 3D point of view. I may even put a picture up showing you kind of what I'm talking about. That is the common cook area. In my personal opinion, there was someone, the person who came through and was scoping out my site, went by real quick. They slammed a branch up next to the opening that led into the common cook area, and they stood in the common cook area and they did the wooing that you actually heard. That was the initial sound I heard. Now, like I said, they got very close, very close to me. I mean, there was one time they did it right before, well, actually, I think it was right before I called the cops. I was dialing, that they were right on top of me. I'm probably within 20 feet. And literally, if it wasn't, you know, the overgrowth wasn't there, you could see that common cook area, because I got to looking at maps and such. It's very, very close. I think they had a buddy that snuck over into Site C, which you'll see where I showed that I think they stood in the next video as well. And they were standing there and they were doing a yow, yow, but it was very vocal, very loud, which I could repeat if I wasn't in the house and everybody in bed. It's really late, guys. I'm doing some editing for you late at night. And I don't mind doing that, but, you know, seriously, I can't do a yowl right now with everybody having to go to work and school and such. But that's what I personally believe, is that they come in with the intention of stealing my equipment. And the thing is, you know, especially the GoPro, you could sell it on eBay used, $300. The hammock setup, I mean, if you take all of it, might go for a couple of $100, $150, $100, you know, whatever on eBay. If I left my pack, the pack itself is a $160 pack. Plenty of equipment there, guys, for somebody to just auction off and make a quick buck. Now, like I said, personally, I hope they were just trying to prank me, but I don't believe that. But, you know, that's kind of just going off my personal impression. You know, you'll see more impressions day after in the next video that are a little bit fresher too. Of course, you saw what you just witnessed in the video. How, I mean, honestly, I was spooked. I was really kind of, being waking up like that and having to get up. I mean, you know, I don't wear my glasses 95% of the time. The only time I ever wear my glasses is maybe when I first get up on trail. I don't even wear them here at the house at all. So it's interesting going back and watching those videos, that first initial impression, and then seeing what I feel now based on what I've kind of thought about and recognized, you know, certain things. Like for instance, you know, where I put the annotation on there about the car driving away immediately after the last woo that I ever heard. I think that's interesting. I think that's very telling, because the thing is, I know for a fact that you can pull one of those Bigfoot calls from a very far distance and it be heard. I've actually done it, because I used to watch Finding Bigfoot on TV. You know, I don't know if I subscribe to the idea of Bigfoot. We'll see. If I ever see one, then yes, I will subscribe, but I need to see one. I'm not saying I disbelieve, but I'm a scientist at heart somewhat. I need to see it. I don't want to see a body, I want to see it in the wilderness. Well, maybe I don't, because that may spook me really bad, guys. We'll see. I don't know. But the thing is, I know you can pull a Bigfoot call off like that from very far distance. And these guys literally, if they were in the parking lot, they were maybe 0.07 of a mile away, 0.07 miles away. And you could have easily, especially being they were higher elevation, they could have pulled off a couple of woos. And it was interesting, you had the one real low woo that was shorter, and then you had the real longer woo. And to me, that would indicate that it was two different people. One couldn't get it quite as loud, and the other one's trying to impress the other one, or whatever. They were just kind of messing with me at that point in time, kind of ticked off that they couldn't get my equipment, maybe, or they were still trying to prank me. But literally, you heard that last woo, and literally 30 seconds later, you hear the car rev up and pull out of that parking lot. And that's where it was. I mean, it was from that direction. The only thing that they would have pulled out of from that direction is that parking lot, because you saw the road as I crossed it. There was nothing else there in that stretch, and that was the direction that came from. So I thought that was interesting going back. I mean, I think subconsciously I remember hearing it, because I think I even mentioned it to my wife the next day on the phone when I was having breakfast, because I called her. But watching the video and actually hearing it, yeah, it kicks in, and you realize that it was somebody. They heard me call the cops, they took off, and then they were just kind of messing with me as they jumped in the car, basically. You wouldn't have heard the car start, but hearing them pull up out of there and taking off, yeah, that's what it was. So that's my take on it. I'm gonna chalk it up to that. I mean, you can take it as you will. I mean, it could have been. It very well could have been a creature. I don't think so. I saw no evidence. I mean, as I hiked out, I looked for feet prints and everything on the outside chance. Never saw anything. I saw boot prints and deer prints. That's all I saw, and a couple of dog prints. So I don't think it was a creature. So if any of you guys are thinking that, hey, you know what? Look at the video. Go over it. If you hear something in the background that I didn't pick up, because at 40 some years old, my ears aren't perfect. Some of you guys may have better equipment than I have. If you hear something, let me know. Comment in the description below. If somebody does hear something, I'm definitely, I do have a much more extended edition of that whole time period. Probably about 25 minutes I recorded. I'll put it up. I'll throw it up. You guys can analyze it, go through it, enjoy it. It's fine. I mean, I've listened to it with what I have. You guys can analyze it, take a look at it, see what you think you may hear. I'll put that the whole clip up. I don't mind doing that. I could throw it up. It doesn't even have to be edited. It won't be edited. I won't even audio. Because I'll put the original clip up for you guys to take a look at. You can boost the sounds. You can listen to it for yourself. I personally think I know what happened, so I'm not really worried about analyzing any footage or anything. But if there's anybody out there that wants to do it, put it in the comments. Let me know. Yeah, I'll put it up for you guys. I don't have a problem with that. I'll hang on to it, make sure I keep the entire clip, just tuck it away. It doesn't hurt my feelings anything. And if you guys would, if I would put it up, if you guys decide you want to hear it, and I put it up and you guys hear anything, definitely let me know, because I'd be very interested if I missed something, because there was a lot of background noise. I mean, part of the clip, there was a train rolling. So, I'll put it up. And just share with me. I'll share back, guys. It's all about the grand adventure. So anyway, guys, come back next week. Check out part 2. It did actually end up being a very good hike, a very good trip. I did stay for the second night, if you were wondering. I did make that determination literally as I came to the fork in the road. And it turned out to be a great day. I really had a blast over there. I still would recommend the Germantown loop better, but as a solo hike, pounding it out and still getting that second night in, even though, yeah, I was spooked the night before, I was kind of proud of myself. It wasn't a very pleasant experience that first night. But it turned out to be a great trip. I actually will have very fond memories of my first solo trip, guys. And it definitely is memorable. Whoever goes on their first solo hike and gets pranked or tricked, or maybe I saw a Bigfoot and what I actually saw was my lantern, because I did actually have my lantern on. So it's possible that I saw my lantern swinging and Bigfoot went past. I don't believe that, but who knows? Maybe someday I'll find out. Anyway, guys, I'll see you on the trail next time. I'm heading out tomorrow again, going to Indian Lake. Thank you for all your subscriptions, all your likes, your comments, your shares. I welcome your feedback, guys. I can't wait to hear from you. Until then, always live your grand adventure to the fullest.